Hi, welcome to the Gallimaufry Gals Book Club. This is part 3 of our 6-part discussion. So thank you so much for tuning back in. We really hope you enjoy this. This is Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs by Caitlin Doty. Enjoy.
For some reason, I never really knew that the Viking funeral, the traditional sending off on a boat that's on fire or setting it on fire. I didn't know that wasn't a thing. I always thought, I guess I always assumed that.
I always thought it was.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I saw it on the Vikings TV show. It must be true.
Like, I feel really stupid for like not even having really questioned it.
Oh, I questioned it constantly.
Yeah.
Like, because to me, like, mostly my questioning about it was like, okay, if you're sending them out into the ocean, like, or whatever, like in this boat, like, does the boat eventually sink? Like, are there just a bunch of boats with dead bodies on it? Like, that to me
are
was
half
the part,
charred.
Yeah, like, to me, that was always the part that always confused me. I'm like, I just don't understand the logistics of it. But I assumed it was real and that I just was missing something because you see it in, like, any Viking TV show, movie, whatever.
And then they also sent along all their whatever their belongings or whatever, and it's like, wouldn't you want to keep them for yourself because you don't have another plow or another shield? Or
some of it, yeah.
I mean, I was just thinking practicality.
Yeah. But I mean, look at Egyptians. They buried everything with their
and people.
Well,
yeah. Like, yeah, when it comes to funerals, I guess I don't think about it in logical terms just because it just seems epic to Viking boat on fire.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Send them out to sea.
But I mean, the fact that they might have still just like had it on shore and set it afire, like that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
I always questioned, okay, well, what if you miss? Like, because you know, sometimes they'll like shoot the arrow out to like light it on fire.
Yeah, right.
And like,
what
they're
if just like, it's whatever. They get the idea.
The river's going just a little too fast.
Right.
And the body keeps on, the boat keeps on going.
Well, it sounds like a Monty Python thing. So let's see here. This next one, I think it was about when there are dead bodies or when a person has died in a house. Would you guys want to know if somebody died in your house? Peaceful death versus murder?
Yes.
Regardless if they died peacefully or not?
Yes. I'd want to know which room or where.
Did you ask when you bought your house?
Oh, I didn't have to because my house was only had 2 other owners before me.
Well, that doesn't mean someone didn't die.
Well, that is true, and someone may have, but
you didn't ask.
I didn't ask. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Well, I know the one place we rented out in the country on sea, that one definitely had a ghost, and someone had died out there. So,
We know that someone died?
Yeah. Because
I remember seeing weird slime on my wall one time.
Oh, weird.
And that was out on sea?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the steps would creep all the time, too. Like someone going up and down the stairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Angie.
Oh, no. Nope. Just that, and yeah, I don't know.
Do you remember
Miranda was just a baby, and Melissa, you didn't live there.
No.
You weren't alive yet.
Do you remember the creaking steps, Angie?
Definitely was creakiness. I never really felt scared or anything, but yeah, I don't know what that was on my wall. That was really weird. It was like,
what color was it?
It was like hair gel.
Huh.
But it wasn't like, I didn't have any hair gel. It was very weird. It was like up near, I don't know, it was like by the door. I don't know, it was weird. I don't know what it was. I mean, who knows? I was like Maybe it was. I don't know. It was weird.
Slimed.
It was weird, and I thought it was weird when I saw it, and then I think I heard you guys talking about it one day or something, like, oh, I think this place is haunted, and then I was like,
Well,
I got slime on my
Well, our bedroom was down at the bottom of the steps, and so it's like, and it was always like, okay, which kid is out of bed now? And it's like no one would be there.
It's probably Josh.
It probably
Probably.
was, but
Little ninja.
yeah, but he was creaking the steps though. So.
Yeah, but then he disappeared. Like
True, true.
It was haunted.
That's funny. I'm pretty sure someone's probably died in this house. I think this house it's at least 50 years old. I'm sure someone has died in it. I don't think I'd care as much to know if someone died peacefully.
Right.
But I think I would want to know if someone was murdered.
I think the only reason I'd want to know if someone was murdered was more or less just to know if the neighborhood was still safe.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like if it was like, I don't know, they're like a jealous lover or something, you know, like a personal thing, like, or if it was a random thing, like, I think that would maybe make a difference. But the reason I found this the most interesting of a question is because this is something that we actually kind of were talking about, me and my husband, and it was always like, if it was haunted, he's like, oh, I'd want to buy a haunted house. He's like, bring me the haunted. And I'm like, no, I don't want haunted house.
Did you guys figure out the rattling door yet?
No, it doesn't happen. I don't know what it was.
Doesn't happen anymore.
Maybe
just with
he got
me,
his
huh?
wish.
Well, we don't ever have this door closed either, really. So, I mean, it's closed now, but I don't know. And I'm sure someone's probably died in this house. This house is old, so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And do you think that the information should just be given up freely? Like, if, like, some places, the realtor has to tell you that there was someone that was killed, and some it's like, okay, just within the last few years. Some it's, they don't have to tell you anything.
Oregon?
Some they have to tell you if you ask, but they don't have to give it up otherwise. Like, do you think it should be mandatory that they have to?
I think if someone was violently killed, they should have to.
At least if you ask.
Right. Yeah.
I guess.
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah. If it was like a big news story, they should tell you. Because if you're moving in from out of town and you don't know, and then you buy the house that was like the murder scene, and all the neighbors are talking about it.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, I can't believe someone bought that house.
Yeah. Don't they know anything?
Yeah.
Right, because then selling it again, like, you find out, and you're like,
Right?
shit, now what am I going to do? Like,
Yeah.
I have to leave for a minute, so I'll hit leave and you can let me back in
I will
a bit.
try to.
Okay.
Can you just stay there and mute
Well,
yourself?
no, I have to, what?
Can you just
can I-
mute yourself? And
Maybe.
Yeah, just mute yourself and walk away.
I just don't want
Okay.
to mess anything up with the. I feel like I will. Well, maybe I won't. I don't know.
I'm just trying to find my mute
On the
button.
left.
Well, you say that, but,
on the bottom left of your screen.
oh, right there. Okay.
See you in a minute.
So, do we continue talking about the book, or do we? I'm not sure what to do.
So I think if I was buying a house,
Continue on, yeah.
I would maybe want to know. If I was renting, I don't know. Maybe not.
I
I'm
think it would
thinking about my
depend.
apartment now. Like, would I want to know if someone was murdered here? I don't
Right.
think so. Is it possible? It's possible.
I mean,
I
you
don't
do
live
live in a
in-
pretty big city, so.
I do. I don't live in the ghetto, but I
True.
don't live in the nice part of town. There are a lot of families here, so I feel safe, but you know.
Mhm.
um,
I mean, I honestly,
it's not,
like,
it's not out of the question. I mean, there's, you know, we live in a
Yeah.
part of town where, you know, there's, you walk out to the street and there's homeless people. So
Mhm.
it's,
Yeah.
you know, sad, but we're okay. I mean, this is nice. It's fine.
I mean, I can't
trust
say
me.
anything. Like, we have a bunch of like families that live around us, but
Mhm.
like the gas station that's just down the road has been robbed before at gunpoint. So
Oh, that's right.
like,
Yeah.
Well, and you guys know Ashland.
yeah, like, I mean,
Yeah, and right, violence can happen anywhere.
Right.
right.
So yeah.
I think I'd want to know no matter what. And I don't know that it would change my opinion of whether or not I wanted to buy it or not, but I think it's something that I'd like to know. So I can maybe do more research or,
Right.
whatever,
if
so that way I can be more knowledgeable.
I think I'm in the
Yeah.
same boat. Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily be a deciding factor.
Yeah, I definitely want to know before. If
Mhm.
I've already
Yeah.
bought it, moved in, then I don't know.
Right.
If it's
Then maybe I
apartment, no.
know. Yeah.
If it's a house,
Well,
sure.
and see, the thing is too, is like with an apartment, you're usually locked in for at least like a year.
Mhm.
So like if you find out afterwards, you're like, well, what am I supposed
What
to
am I
do?
gonna do now? Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't feel like our apartment's haunted anyway, so that's good.
Yeah. I don't feel like
Cats
our
to
house
protect me.
is either. But last night, oh my God, we were watching a scary game that someone was playing, and we're laying in bed, and all of a sudden we heard something coming from we didn't know where, and it sounded like papers falling or something being like tossed, like our wrappers or something. We're like looking around and we couldn't figure out what it was. I'm like, oh my God, our house is haunted. Turns out something
Just
just fell,
automatically.
but
Oh yeah.
because I had like this little like paper, I don't know, basically a vase where I had a bunch of little paper flowers.
Mhm.
Oh.
And
Cute.
it was taped to the back of my monitor, and it just, the tape gave out and fell.
Oh.
It scared the crap out of us because we're like, is someone in our house? Like, it was terrifying. It was perfect timing too. Jump scare for real life.
Do you guys believe in like the orbs, like on Ghost Adventures?
No,
No?
that's all bullshit, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if you were to ask Carl's mom, she would say yes because she tells us about orbs in her backyard.
Oh.
And I've never even seen Ghost Hunters. I don't even know what you're talking about, but that's how she describes it.
That's interesting though. So this is kind of going off a little bit, but I mean, people have seen I can't even, okay, so there's a whole thing about orbs. So there's the orbs, like Ghost Adventure orbs, like they think they're seeing a spirit going through in like the, in
Usually they're
energy
little like
form.
white little circles or
Yep, and it usually
flecks.
goes pretty fast, like, and it doesn't
Zooms.
look like a bug or anything like that. So they think that maybe
okay.
it's like a spirit. But then there's also there have been numerous accounts of people seeing orbs in like forests or in the in the sky. But there've been like orbs in the forest accounts specifically. And I don't know how big those orbs are, but I think they're usually bigger than what Ghost Adventures captures on their cameras.
Are they fairies?
They don't know what they are, but I have seen a weird thing in the sky before that were orb-like. They were like, there was like a cluster of like 5 of them, and they were up in the sky, and I was just laying in the yard and I was looking up at the stars, and there were like little orbs, like 5 orbs that were just kind of just like, here, I'll do this. They were kind of just like just kind of random, and I like blinked and tried to make sure that I wasn't just like, my eyes bugging out looking at the stars, and it still was there, and I was like, well, do I just stay here and make sure that I know what I'm seeing? And I was like, okay, well, I know for sure. I'm locking it in. I know what I'm seeing. I'm gonna go tell Dad. And I went inside, and he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, trust me, like, and like, I knew this was going to happen. Like, you go inside and tell someone, and it's not going to be there. And that's exactly
I remember
what happened.
that.
By the time he got out, they were gone. It was weird.
Aliens.
Yes.
I don't know what they were. I don't know what they were.
That happened again recently in the area.
What?
Like 5 or 6 blobs that were circling each other. Quite a few people had seen them in the sky.
Definitely
I don't know
not
the
spirits,
details
though.
on that one.
I don't believe that those orbs are ghosts.
The Ghost Adventure orbs.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't know what to think about them.
I think they are dust or bugs.
Yeah, a lot of the places that they go to, it's like it would seem most likely that it would be a bug. But
interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, so there's I'm trying to think, like all my pages somehow got out of order somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. So I think I'm on the right page, but there's Old Man's Day on October 2nd, and I just thought that was the coolest thing.
I thought that was pretty
on
interesting
page
too, yeah.
90. And I had not heard of that before. I'm trying to get to the thing here.
It was about him.
As the story goes, when the coffin was dropped, Matthew awakened and knocked on the lid to be released. To this day, every October 2nd is celebrated as Old Man's Day to commemorate his revival. He lived, by the way, for 24 more years.
Where was that at? That was like in like Ireland or something like that?
Yep, this is in England.
England,
okay. Yep. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so Miranda, you asked if, have you ever worried about being buried alive, or has it ever crossed your mind, like, and maybe not like even just nowadays, but like as a general concept, I guess, would you, I don't know how to really word it. Like, I'm sure like we're not like worried about it nowadays because there are.
I am.
Precaution. Oh, okay.
Are you really?
Yeah, and I think it's more stemmed from the fact that I hate small spaces.
Gotcha.
And so I know it's an irrational fear, but it's a fear that I will be stuck in a small spot that I will not be able to breathe, and I just like, even just thinking about it makes me like like I just feel like I know the likelihood of that happening is basically nothing. Does not matter. My brain is still like, it could happen, and it will be terrible, and you'll be in a small spot, and nope.
Yeah, I think I would be afraid of it if I was in a different time period, because I'm not really afraid of it, and I know fears are irrational usually, and so like that's just like, I just don't have that. So I mean, it is what it is. But I guess, yeah, if like I was maybe in a different time period, I definitely think that would be a fear of mine.
Well, I think too, like, are you talking just coffins, or what about a body bag if there's, a pandemic going on and there's so many people in the hospital and they're, I mean, I know they've got the machines to tell you if you're alive or dead, but if someone is rushed or something becomes disconnected and there's so many patients coming in and out, that
I never thought about the rushed factor.
Yeah.
Like
body bags stacked on top of each other in the back of
a
refrigerated trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, that would, Miranda's freaking out.
Ooh, yeah, that freaks me out a little.
Squirm.
But I mean, I know that's not likely to happen, so, but that would be a good horror story to tell.
For sure. Get on that.
Well, not for Miranda. No.
Yeah, and then so kind of switching gears, but the next chapter was about airplanes and their policies, which is really insane. So like, I guess a lot of airplanes have the policy that if someone dies, they just get to sit next to you.
I know.
The rest of it, which makes, to me, like, that, like, blows my mind that that's still a thing in the 21st century.
Like, I
Yes.
was so surprised by that, but then when she
Me
went
too.
into it made a little bit more sense.
It does make sense why there isn't something.
Doesn't mean I like it.
Right,
No.
exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. It's like the likelihood of, but I mean, like, you would think there would have some sort of, like, hatch or something in the floor that goes down to the luggage area.
They
You
could
know,
just
So what,
slide
you
them
could
in.
just
like,
slide
something down there.
throw it.
Like, you wouldn't need that big of a space. I mean, I don't know.
Like even like a hidden compartment, like smuggling boats and stuff like used to have, like it's just a little hatch to slide them in. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything but just sitting next to a corpse.
Well, especially if you don't know them.
Right.
I don't know if that would be worse or better. For me, that would
Mm.
be worse if it was someone I didn't know.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know. Honestly, like, I mean, it would be a different experience.
well,
But as far as better or worse, I'm not sure it would be better. Either
I think
like,
it would be better if it was someone I knew. I mean, someone that I cared about. Just
But
from
the
my
fact that they're
experience with
dead.
my mom. I know, but I was there when my mom passed away, and I was there even after she was gone, and you still have that connection to that person even though they're not there. But if
That's
it's a
true.
complete stranger,
That is true.
Yeah, I think it'd be sad.
it would
Sad
be
to have to
sad.
sit next to a loved one, but gross to sit next to someone.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
how
I think
long is
so.
the flight going to be too? Is it a 12-hour international flight or something?
Right.
Or is it a 15-minute? Nothing's ever 15 minutes, at least not here. But
Well,
like
Duluth to St. Paul is pretty much 15
true.
minutes.
So is it a 15-minute to an hour flight? How soon into the flight do they pass?
Right.
I mean, how much time do you have to sit next to the person that's passed away?
And what's the
Right.
expression on their face? Do they look like they're asleep? That might be okay. Are they
That might
sitting
be
there with their
okay.
mouth open staring at you like,
Oh my god.
Right.
like I couldn't sit next to that.
No.
Yeah, I
And
think if they were like looked like they were sleeping, I could maybe be okay. Like
Like they're sleeping. They're
I could,
sleeping. They're
yeah,
sleeping.
exactly. Like maybe try and convince myself of
Yeah.
that, but I don't
They
know how
don't
well that would
snore.
actually work.
Well, that's true.
They might poop their
Oh.
pants though.
That's true.
hey,
That is something she
Yes.
talks about when you die.
yes.
Your bowels get let loose.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean,
So,
Would you rather sit
Ooh.
next to a crying baby or a corpse?
A corpse.
a crying baby.
Let's
Well,
say
it
you're
depends on the
going-
corpse.
Let's say you're going on like a 10-hour flight and they die at like 2 hours in, and
if the baby's gonna cry
baby-
the entire time,
and the baby's going to be crying for
8 hours.
75% of the time.
How bad does the dead guy smell like poop?
I was going to say, how close is the baby? Is the baby like within?
next to
Next to you.
Right next
Right
to. Oh,
next
that would
to
be
you.
okay, because then I would like try and help the mom out and help calm the baby down.
I
What
think
if the baby doesn't stop though?
I think
Well,
I would probably corpse.
Yeah, me too. I would take corpse.
silence over nonsense.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? It probably wouldn't matter for me because I would be asleep. I wouldn't even know that person passed.
Oh
I'd be
yeah,
asleep.
me too. Yeah.
Doesn't matter how long the flight. I will probably be asleep the entire time.
Except if there's a crying
Oh,
baby right
man.
next to you.
No, I could my body, as soon as I get into a plane, just shuts down.
Interesting.
Like before we even take off, I am
Oh.
almost ready to fall asleep.
Wow.
Nice.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very helpful because otherwise I feel sick as shit the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would take a corpse to a crying baby.
I'd
See,
still,
none of us have kids and haven't had to deal with crying babies,
Right,
so we
yeah.
feel like
Except
that
for
would be
me, so
terrible.
I-
yeah,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
oh, take a baby. We're all like,
right, right.
I'd take the baby.
Yeah.
And we're
That's
like,
good.
bring me the corpse.
One of us has got to take the baby. Thanks, Mom.
That would be me.
Thanks,
Oh,
Mom.
man.
Oh. You know, I'm hoping no one is offended by us laughing about and making jokes about seriousness about death and stuff. But,
Yeah.
you know, I'm thinking, yeah, we're being a little irreverent, but that's also how we are, and also how we deal with things and process things too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Exactly. It's no disrespect at all. It's the topics of this book, and
yes,
being free to explore the what ifs that no one wants to talk about.
that is true.
Exactly.
And
Very true.
sometimes you just have to laugh through odd conversations that can be
Yes.
difficult.
For sure.
See the light side.
Yes,
Death is going to happen no matter what.
This is true.
that is
so
true.
Might as well talk about it.
Yes.
So what would you guys attend the Body Works exhibits?
Oh,
So
yeah.
the Body Worlds, it's called, not Body Works. Or is it? I thought it was Body.
Oh, there is
There's
Body
two
Works.
different ones. There's
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, why did I wrote Body
So,
Worlds, but I said
yes.
Body Works.
Yeah. So the Body Worlds exhibition, I think, is the more like they get their bodies from donations.
Yes.
And it's more like
Legitimate. Yeah.
And I think Body Works has kind of had like, I guess, some accusations / potentially it's real, like, of getting their
Ooh.
bodies from like China and
Gotcha.
just
Like
not,
illegally kind of.
yeah, kind of on the sketchy side, I
So
guess.
on the Body
Yeah.
Worlds, the legit exhibition, would you first we'll go with, would you attend or like go into one of these exhibitions?
I've actually been to one,
Oh,
and they're interesting.
Where did you?
They're creepy, but it was in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I think we went for a school trip or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When it was
Anatomy.
in the area, yeah. And it was interesting. It was definitely unique, but it was definitely weird.
So what was your expectation before going in and while you were in it?
I'm not really sure. Like, I thought, like, I guess I honestly just thought it was going to be pretty cool, but it was also just a little bit weirder than I thought because, yeah, they were just like doing things like, you know, like pretending to play volleyball. Like, it was just really kind of, it was
pretending to play volleyball.
Well, they are playing volleyball.
It was definitely weird. Like, there was definitely some parts that were definitely grosser than I thought too, because like some of them actually you could see like inside them, which was kind of weird. But
like inside their bed, like their
like organs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, see, that's the part I think would be cool.
I mean, it was cool, but it was definitely, I don't know,
a different experience.
So was the volleyball one posture or person the one that stuck out to you the most, or?
No, I mean, it was just like, that was just an example. I don't know if there really was one that was playing volleyball or not, but there was just like a bunch of different scenes. It was a long time ago because I think this was in middle school or high school.
Early high school, I think.
It was early high school, yeah. Like it's been over 10 years, so I'm not really.
I wasn't sure if there was one that like stood out to you the most or.
Not really.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool to go to. I think it would be, yeah, creepy but cool from like putting your science hat on.
Yeah. I agree. I would go to the legitimate one, but I'd have to look up to make sure it was the right one.
You know, I'm not even sure which one we went to be honest.
I know.
I want to say it was actually the Body Works and not the Body Worlds, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it made me really sad that someone would imitate the scientific exhibition of the human body, and then, you know, I'm not going to say they killed people, but to sketchily get bodies and make money off of it. That just really grossed me out. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
would you donate your body to be plastinated for like the legit one? Because they apparently have donation cards at the end.
Yeah. Do you think anyone really wants my body? I don't think so.
Why not?
Of course, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, it's old.
So it's still
So?
interesting.
True, and I do have lots of arthritis and stuff. They could get down to the bones and they could show off my arthritis. And my hand. That was for Melissa.
Oh, yeah, because I start to faint when she shows me her hand.
Yeah, I saw the lump. I don't want to see it again. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry it gives you pain.
It actually
I'm
causes a
sorry,
lot
too.
of pain.
Yeah,
But
I'm really
yeah.
sorry.
Miranda, do you want to see it?
Nope, I'm good.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
I'll look away.
Okay, look away.
It looks like a hand
Oh,
over. It looks.
interesting.
It looks fine over video.
Oh, okay.
It looks
It doesn't
kind of
look
more
good.
like a callus,
Yeah.
It does kind of, except not
except it's
in
big.
real life. Except not in real life.
Gotcha.
I would have to say, like, if I had the choice, if I had to choose between just being buried, because I do have a preferred, like, that we'll go
Mhm.
into, like, but if I just had the choice between being buried or doing body worlds, sorry.
Plasticized body.
You know, I do think I would still choose to be buried. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
seems kind of like a huzzah type of
Right.
like.
Look at
And,
me.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know that really
I
any
like
of
the idea of it though. I think it'd be
Yeah,
really
but you don't
cool.
actually see their faces. I mean, you
I know, but
just
still,
see.
just yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It's kind of a
If it could be used as a learning tool and not just something to be gawked at, I would do it.
Mhm.
But I mean, I guess if you're going to gawk at it, you're learning something. So I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah,
I have a different preferred method we'll talk about later too.
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like
nothing
none
weird.
of us are like super like, look at me. So like I feel
Right.
like
right.
maybe if we were more like, I don't know, like that,
Oh,
maybe we
yeah.
would, but
Mhm. Yeah, that's fair. And then, so with donating blood, this is on page 127. Mom, you were asking if any of us have donated blood
Mhm.
or had a blood transfusion.
I have
No
not.
and no. I've
I
donated
thought you-
plasma.
Oh,
But not
okay.
Oh, you donated plasma.
I've donated blood before.
Oh, okay.
Haven't had a blood transfusion from
I
a
have-
living or a dead person.
Yeah, that was
Good to know.
that was an interesting that was the
Yes.
question. Can someone donate blood after they die?
Thanks again for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week for part 4 of our 6-part book discussion, Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs by Caitlin Doty. Thanks so much and happy reading.